we start?
What is up, guys? You don't know when we start? We start at 8:30 Central, Walsh.
No, not that. Like the intro thing never plays clear. It's like halfway through it cuts off, and I'm like, I'm just
that one worked perfectly for me.
Yeah, mine never cuts off.
I'm just looking at myself.
I love the comment, the pre-show comments. Prepared Mindset Podcast, smooth brains, but not smooth starts. Croak commented.
I think we had a smooth start there. Let us know if we had a smooth start.
Kind of.
We did.
Yeah, it's pretty smooth.
I gave it 10-1 odds that we wouldn't, so I was with everybody in the comments.
We were talking behind the scenes, like Croak says odds on a smooth start. We're like, well, I mean, it really wouldn't be us if it was just good to go, and I wouldn't.
Tactical Jaw was in the house with some wizard comments.
What up?
Yeah, let's get some wizards.
We need to upgrade deck version.
We do.
Yeah,
I guess that's true.
That we do need in our life.
Go out there and record it.
Shadowman's here. What's up, Shadowman?
Oh,
good to see you, buddy.
It was funny too. I was looking, like I was recording some stuff outside, and I was looking, recording everything in the backyard, and I'm like telling the wife, I was like, you know what? I really need to stay in that fence. It looks horrible. Like it just looks bad. Like, well, so
Shadowman with some wizard comments. Wizard, get your nods. Wizard, get your nods. Midwest Frank's in the house. What's up, Midwest Frank?
Did you see John Jacob?
You guys see Jack?
He goes, that deck's seen some gear.
That's not all it's seen.
Yeah, Cody, I didn't see the pup over there. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Croak, time for winter deck has passed. Now is the age of spring deck. So sorry. Welcome to Thin Line Defense. We are not going to be talking about decks all night. Hopefully, we're talking about our last videos. We'll be going off the rails like you guys love, and thoroughly enjoying ourselves. I was dying laughing. If you're not in our Discord, you really need to be. I've been very absent over there, so I apologize. But Croak posted a meme. It says, I need to stop buying stupid things when I get paid. And it said, me when I get paid. And it's a guy with a scar, nods, and he has a leash on a crocodile that has a helmet and nods on the beach.
All right.
Yeah, welcome. Happy to be here, guys. I was telling the guys beforehand, so I got this project, this 1971 Oldsmobile Cutlass, and my son helped me change the gasket on the transmission pan because it was leaking. And he got the bug, man. He's like, what are we going to do next on the old car? So he's supposed to be going into high school. They don't have auto shop at his high school, but he's very interested in cars now. Cool. Joe's excited.
Yeah. He's the smartest one out of all of you guys.
He's going to have
call Uncle Joe. Ask him. He'll tell you. Josh, that guy with the mask looks trustworthy. He is very trustworthy.
Well, he's not the trust.
No, I'm not even the trustworthy one.
Yeah, that was the Jason comment. Like, I don't trust that guy. It was like, well, make a video with the sign that says I'm trustworthy. That'll fix it.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that.
To this day, people are like, I don't understand why he wears that mask. Like, well, guess what, buddy? It's not about you. Like, I don't know what to tell you here. Like,
nobody cares.
Yeah. Let's check the list. Like, what?
That's got to be the most common question.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't understand why you wear underwear.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just let it be.
Best was we would just play it off so much that we would do some sort of comment about liking hockey and
the Red Wings.
The Red Wings every time. Go. He just really likes hockey. Go Red Wings. Like, how would you why did you wear that mask? Like, how else would you know his love for hockey? Go Red Wings. Every time.
Every time. Good times, man.
And he's so good at drinking with straw and everything.
Oh, I know. He's so skilled. He's been doing it for years now. Think of it that way.
Yeah.
Like, he's been drinking through
alcohol
that
through a straw.
Yeah. Like, it's one thing to be like, hey, yeah, I wore a mask. That mask is almost legendary at this point. Like, it's got years worth of
You should see the years of buildup on the inside of that mask.
It's got to be gross. Like,
it is.
Never clean. He cleans his guns every live and his knives, but he has not cleaned his mask yet.
No, because it's on my face.
That old 1990s like pad, that plastic pad, like that smell. Oh, so bad.
You could probably take the straps off and wash
it. 076
Yeah,
Liberty.
probably.
My wife always says, "It's your night to watch the guys in the masks."
Like, are you watching your friends in their masks? Like, it's just one guy. It's not worth the trouble. I'm not going to correct her.
Yeah, and when we had our computer in our den, I remember one time we had these windows looking into the den.
Oh no!
And I looked over, and my wife's standing there with like a phone. There I am on the live chat with like my plate carry on and my mask. I was like, "What are you doing?" Like, I gotta show all my friends this.
I'm just showing them you're working. Show them your job. Like, oh my gosh.
I gotta ask for those of you. I haven't seen the X comment from Croak. Maybe I missed it. The other thing is, it looks like, fingers crossed, Rumble might be working. So if you are on Rumble,
you probably fixed it.
Commenting and seeing.
I didn't fix it.
I think I did. I hope I did. So if you're on Rumble, do me a favor, comment something.
We're gonna try to figure out how to stream to Instagram, maybe, because we had that option today.
Yeah. EVMux now offers Instagram Live. You can stream Instagram Live. Croak fan, I didn't make the comment yet. Saving it for a special occasion. Aw, thanks, buddy.
Well,
Shadow Man spending money.
There you go, Shadow Man. Not married yet. No, he loves the Mighty Ducks. Oh, and I don't have work tomorrow. Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
The Flying V.
Another YouTuber. I miss when y'all only had plate carriers and masks on.
Me too.
I
miss
never
those days.
Staring at my plate carrier. It's right here.
I never wore my plate carrier because that's just too much work.
Sometimes you okay, maybe not.
1911. What's up, buddy?
I will wear mine, but it's just there's like a mess of them. Just you have to get them out of the pile and everything else. It's just a lot of work.
Pile of plate carriers.
Yeah.
Hey, prepared mindset. Hold on. No one said anything that about me having pants on right now. So
yeah.
Or
Cody
socks.
never worn pants.
Yeah. You come down to like, hey, show off your plate carrier. He's like, it's a lot of work. He's like, hey, show off your feet.
That's exactly.
Yeah, give me a second.
Right. Yeah. But I think what you're going for, that just like all of us combined, not each person has to do that. Like Walsh won't wear a plate carrier, I'm in a mask, and Cody never has pants on.
Never pants. Yeah, there you go. That's right.
That's the combination.
Oh, the dude Walsh got lazy for a while and just had the carrier with no plates.
Did I?
Barlow said we rock, and then he said wizard.
One time. There was one time I was like, I don't want to deal with it.
Oh, Michael Farley said, first live where I'm not at work feels weird.
What?
Golf cart, huh?
He's probably like sitting at home. He's like sitting at home by himself in his living room and like, is this?
I'm questioning what happened now.
Well, who's protecting the spot?
Well, I think he's not
Did he get it? Huh?
He was saying on Discord he's not on nights anymore.
Oh, so he got a different shift.
Yeah, so he's not on mids.
Oh, congrats, buddy.
Yeah, we were talking about how like we all used to work mids at one point, and then we got old and realized our bodies didn't do that anymore.
Your favorite?
No, this isn't.
Wait, is this the pants party?
No, this is the no pants party.
No, the other way around.
Yeah. CCW only mask, plate carrier, and jock strap.
Yep, that one.
CCW knows my.
Me, Walsh, and Jason.
All right.
He knows. Anyway. He knows that my jock strap is still sweaty from work.
Ew.
What video did we have this? Oh, that elf trigger.
Yeah, the elf trigger and the Zion upgrades.
Oh, yeah. So the first one I'll talk about, I don't know if Joe got to watch the upgrades one, but you would have loved that video. I didn't know CMMG had so many just super cheap parts.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was my biggest surprising thing. Like from everything, it was like safeties, bolt catch, bolt release, magazine release, like ambi mag release. Everything was like a direct copy of everything else, and like $11.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like CMMG became like my hero in that video. Like I almost didn't even make it. I was like, man, there's not that much good stuff going on here. It's kind of a weird video, but I was like, but CMMG has so many good options. It's not like, well, I mean, I may as well. This is kind of ridiculous in how many things they had that I ended up putting on there that worked out really, really well.
Huh. That's different.
Yeah.
Because I always see like their lower, I think I even bought one of their lower parts kits. You can never tell once you take it out of the box. But yeah, I always see their lower parts kits and stuff that are reasonably priced.
Yeah, and they color code everything in like those little baggies.
Oh,
yeah. PSA does that too.
Yeah.
No, do they?
No.
Yeah, this stuff was
Now they do.
stupid expensive. Like they had the really nice. I didn't end up getting the upper and lower pins. Why do I always forget those?
Takedown pins.
Takedown and pivot.
Yeah, takedown pivot pins. They had those. They were like $12 or $15 for the nice dimpled ones and everything else. And anybody else wanted like $40. I'm like, why is it $40 for pins? And CMMG's like, nah, F that.
Do you know what surprises the heck out of me on price? There's two things: charging handles and selector switches.
Yeah.
Yeah,
dude, an ambi selector switch for like $80. You guys are out of your mind.
Doesn't make any sense. And that's like the normal price.
There was a Joe Bob Outfitters used to run this deal where it was an ergo grip, JP springs for your mil-spec trigger, and their ambi safety selector switch for like $30. I bought a bunch of them. I love those. Yeah. They don't do. You buy everything separate. You just can't buy them all as a kit now.
I like the selector switches that both of the lever come off, and then it has the 45-degree throw holes, and then the 90-degree hole throws.
Yeah.
So you can switch it around.
45-degree holes.
Hey, Jason,
only when you're wearing the jock strap.
Yeah. Something a viewer told me that I completely missed over on the Zion. Remember how I was complaining in that video about how the pins were so tight? Like I was like, hey, I would change them out. I'm an idiot. There's actually an adjustment screw that they do to tighten the upper and the lower. So like there's actually some extra pressure there. And the safety selector has another rail run down it, like another opening. So you can take the safety selector and switch it to the other side.
Okay.
So it's like it's just single side ambi, but whatever. I mean,
yeah.
But you're like, I mean, in actuality, like most of what I would have needed would have already been there. The only thing that wasn't there was an ambi mag release. If you really think about it, like only an ambi mag release was missing from a $1,200 gun. Like that's pretty.
There's Michael Farley says being left-handed is expensive.
I mean, or not.
Joe would tell me. That's what I was gonna say. Speaking.
Joe, you go ahead.
That's what I was gonna say. Speaking of that, like, just learn how to use the right-handed stuff, and it's the same price.
Yeah, you just run it like normal. Yeah.
Walsh, is that a TLD Co flag in the background coming from Josh?
No, I wish it was.
We need a flag.
Yeah, we need a flag. This, our artist sometimes just does like his own stuff, and he had made this one, which is very much a wizard with a rifle and everything else. It needs probably like, hey, I'm a wizard down here. But someone else purchased it, and it happened to be Nurse Dude, I think it was. He runs another YouTube channel. Ended up buying that one. I saw it in his Instagram post. I was like, oh, that's the guy who bought the art from the artist that does our stuff. And he did flag, so I bought the flag off him. So
nice.
So, yeah,
Midwest Frank.
It's ours. It's technically ours.
I really like the Breek charging handles I have, and they're cheap.
We didn't like those. I don't know. I didn't like the Warhammers at all.
Joe liked them.
I do.
That was the one.
I'm not left-handed.
Right. And so
that's the one that ports the gas out the right side of the gun right into your face.
Well, and it wasn't even like that was one of like the one of the complaints. But if you remember when we talked about it, the actual bottom of it isn't level. So when you pull it on the right side charging handle, it lifts up and just grinds all the way against your upper. And like,
I don't have that problem either.
Yeah, I did. Like I had one side of my upper, the channel was all normal, and the left side was just gouged to hell because the way it like rides in the channel. Like, dude, this thing's a piece of hot garbage. Now it's worth $30.
There's one in that, and there's one in the 6.5 up top.
And that's the thing that bothers me. It's ambi as long as you don't use an ambi. Like,
yeah, I don't need it. Ambi.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Just leave it then. Just use the normal one. Use the $10 one. For an ambi, HRT handle is horrible.
CCW22LR says thoughts on Glock performance triggers. Never tried one. Don't know a lot about them. I know Elf. Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say Elf has Glock triggers. I know we were just talking about them. Walsh had the Elf Apex Trigger video that came out. They do Glock triggers. We tried them at SHOT Show. I don't know. It was a Glock trigger. I might try to see if I can get one of those for my PSA dagger.
I did get to try out some more Glocks when with some buddies out in the range the other day, like kind of showing them the Tomahawk, and like they had the exact same to the wall roller this year. I mean, I was complaining about on the Tomahawk, and I'm like, oh, this is how Glock triggers work. Talking to Elf, he did say he had that no fail trigger in the Glock. They changed something in the slide, so it resets it differently. It has a completely different function. But yeah, we haven't messed with it.
No, like polymer lower and performance don't go together. They really don't. That's not what it's designed for. I love polymer lower guns. I have a bunch of them. Yeah. They're designed to be light and cheap. There's a difference. They're not performance. I say save your money and build something.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I need to look at them again. I don't think for an aftermarket trigger they're that expensive. I've seen them for $100 to $130, which in the aftermarket Glock trigger, that's about the range that you'll see. I don't know what the Elf is going for. Prepared Mindset podcast says performance trigger for Glock sucks. Has to be lubricated every 500 rounds per the manufacturer. Not worth it for the lower reliability. Croak says Glock performance trigger is basically a Timney on the cheap.
What about the Elf one? Is that the one they're talking about?
No, they're not talking about the Elf one yet.
Oh.
They're talking. I think Glock brand did.
Yeah, Glock brand has a performance trigger that they came out with.
Oh, that's garbage. Yeah.
My Thursday treadmill entertainment begins. Welcome.
Hey, J Murph.
Hey, you get started on that Glock run. Right?
The double suck. But
actually, we're at motivation. Like, I don't want to turn out like these poor idiots. Let me get on that treadmill.
A lot of people don't. Some people may remember who were on the live chat because I think we did mention Elf when we were at SHOT Show. We weren't trying to find them. That was a really weird off chance. They literally did grab us. Like, hey, who are you guys? Have you ever seen this trigger before? And we're kind of like, I think we were tired. I'm not gonna lie. I think we were tired. I think we had walked around all day, and it was like
they were like in the very far back corner of SHOT Show. Like we were bored and like, oh, we haven't gone over there. Let's go over there.
Check it out. And then like we just happened to be walking by. You guys ever see this before? Like we're like looking up where are we? Like we're at the Elftmann stuff. Like and it was there were super nice guys that kind of grabbed each one of us and we're like, hey, you try this. Hey, you try that. And then we're kind of looking at each other like, hey, have you guys seen this? So like, hey, we're pretty impressed. Yeah, well, if you have this no fail guarantee, like whatever that means. And at the time, I don't think we're like, okay, whatever. I don't think that's such a thing. But
does Elf stand for something tactical?
Yeah, Elf.
No, it's his name.
His name is Elftmann. His last name is Elftmann.
Okay.
ELFTMANN.
Croak, please make a cool Elf tactical acronym for us while we're talking.
AR Patriot 1776. I haven't seen you on here before.
That looks like a new
I'm
name.
sorry.
Oh, that's
sorry. But he says, hello, everyone. Welcome.
Hey, welcome.
Good to have you here.
Hello.
If you have been here before, I'm sorry I forgot you. The mind of Dory. So
I do want to say, though, that I know I talked about a ton in the video, and there's probably not much more to add, but even Elf, the owner, Art, talked about how, in terms of reliability, the Apex one's a go-to, but he even said, like, hey, if you want a clean break trigger, you want something that shoots better for long range, or just you don't need that crazy reliability, that the SE, he was even saying, like, I think the cheaper SE is the better trigger. It's just the Apex is the more reliable one. I was like, really? That's kind of surprising.
I like that one where, I think a no fail where you can adjust the take up. So if you want take up, then you can put it into it, and if you want just you touch it and it goes off, you can do that too. I really like that trigger. Just a turn of a set screw. But no, what Walsh was saying, I didn't care, and even after they started showing, I really didn't care. It was how nice they were that drew me into that booth. I'm like, I think these are super cool.
Yeah, it was like a father and son.
They didn't know us.
No.
And what's interesting is when you kind of dig into it, hey, Jason, can you click on the comment from Croak? When you really dig into it too, they're really somebody special. Croak says extremely large fingers, Elf. That's what it stands for. But they're awesome. When you look at it, like the number of trigger competitions they've entered into and won, like they're ridiculous. So they're really well known to be that humble and just like, hey, here's these guys. Like, oh, okay, that's cool.
The dude says, I prefer triggers with a fully semi-auto mode.
Yeah, True.
Doc Cypher says, I hear P320 triggers are so amazing they work by themselves.
Yeah, that's also true. That's also true. And CCW made a comment about my camo, so I'm going to say it. This is the Under Armour one, but I really like the looks of the camo that looks like topographical maps. I really like that. Yeah. So
I thought it was.
You didn't get any Sean's new camo?
Yeah, I was going to say the
Camerado.
Camerado. I like that stuff.
Dolores has a sweatshirt with it.
Yeah, I want a hoodie.
There's Bigfoot hidden in it a bunch.
Murph 420. Mm-hmm. All the Glock losers I know have Timneys too.
Oh.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah. Hey, pull up Murph 420's comment.
I like. Yeah, I'm about to say we all want that one.
Jason, when's the Prodigy review?
Yeah.
Not yet.
Do you? Okay, let's just give us.
Have you even shot it?
Yeah, give us your quick down and dirty on it.
I've shot it.
You like it? Don't even lie. You don't even have to lie to us, dude.
It's not my
amazing.
Favorite. It's by
Shut
far
up and leave.
My favorite gun.
Shut up and leave.
No, so I'm going to redeem myself with this comment. Still, my favorite gun to shoot, I'm sorry to say, is my 1911, my Christensen Arms 1911. I love that gun.
Okay.
The Prodigy is, I'd say, it's probably in the top 3 of the guns that I own. My favorite guns to shoot. Pistols. I really like it. It's not my favorite to shoot. It goes to 1911, but it's really good. Yeah.
I would take my 2011 over my 1911.
Oh, I'm just talking about.
Maybe I bought the wrong 1911.
Blasphemy.
Yeah, I don't know how. I may be using the wrong words, but it's the 1911 to me is more enjoyable to shoot. If I had to take something, I would probably take my 2011 over the 1911 for the carry capacity. The capacity of the magazines. But the other thing is, it's a lot easier for me to buy 1911 magazines in my state because even the high capacity 1911 mags are 10 rounders.
Yeah,
I did buy a couple Korean mags, and very first time, like brand new magazines, very first time I shot them in my 1911, they blew apart.
Oh yeah, I buy the Wilson Combat one. I've had good luck.
Oh my.
Hey,
yes.
Oh, with the toes.
Who is that?
This is
who went out and bought the mask.
No.
What are you doing?
No, it's not. It's 3D printed. On the bottom, it says, "I'm trustworthy."
Oh, it looks like you made it out of a crock.
No,
like he cut the toes off of a crock.
His poor feet, man. His poor feet. Oh my god!
Looks like that looks like the type of guy that's on his feet all day.
I was just going through Discord. I was like, what the hell? Like, how did I miss this?
He just screwed a crock up. He cut it up into a mask.
He says, "Hi, fellas. Can't stick around tonight. Good to have you here for
what's up, Sturgis?
Yeah, it's always good to see you.
Came back. That's 3 weeks in a row, right?
I know. Yeah.
20. Did you change any springs? No, I haven't changed anything.
So they're gonna tell you, like, oh, this is how you make it better.
I haven't changed anything in the Prodigy either.
What are you talking about? You did a video on the stuff you changed on the Prodigy.
Oh, I meant the spring and all that stuff. Yes, I did. What did I do?
What didn't I do?
I did the takedown.
So I don't know.
Oh, and the magwell grip. That's nothing. The takedown lever and magwell.
I will say I don't like the takedown on the Prodigy.
Really?
Yeah. Because you need an Allen wrench?
No.
What is it different?
You need an Allen wrench? I haven't. I'm saying like
you need an Allen wrench. It's like
just how it feels in my hand, like shooting it. I felt like it dug into my palm a little bit.
Oh. Poo. Well, it won't happen to me because I'm left-handed. Thank God.
Yeah. So we got Josh says, "When's the High Point Yeet Cannon review with the cannon and RDS?"
Never.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now. Cody, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say you laugh, but Demolition Ranch he had like 20 or 30 Yeet cannons, and it ate everything he did. Like he put all kinds of stuff in the barrels.
Don't matter. Yeah.
It blew.
Iraq veteran 8888 did a like a destruction video of a high point where I think they finally got it to fail by like hammering a steel rod into the barrel and putting a bullet in and pulling the trigger, and it finally stopped working.
Yeah,
I would never buy that gun. It is by far the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
But it shoots.
It works.
I love that they're a following, right? A cult following for them. I'll never bash on the cult following.
I'm glad
but
somebody likes it.
That gun used to have a place in the gun world because it was so cheap.
Yeah, criminals.
And yeah, but now with daggers, there's no place for it anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you could get a dagger for. I mean, a high point's like $150. So spend another $100, get the dagger.
You actually have something good. Yeah.
There's no place in the gun market for it anymore.
Harry!
I feel sorry for them. I think they'll be out of business once all the cult followers get a gun. Then after that, they'll be out of business.
As long as they keep putting yeet cannon on it, people will buy it.
Yeah, we'll buy it.
I guess.
Harry says, if I can swing it, I may be getting nods this year. Anyone have thoughts on the BNVD 1431s or RNVG, perhaps even BNVD 1531s?
Dude, 100%. You need to put that question in Discord because there's a couple people that will geek out on it.
Yeah.
Really quick before Walsh answers, Harry, hope you're happy that tax season is over.
Oh yeah, it's
goodness. He's got to be so relieved. That's where he's been. We haven't heard from him
in months.
In like,
guys, I got all this cash.
Yeah, that's why he's like,
don't ask where I got it from.
I just all of a sudden saw someone have all this money. I'm going to be doing a video end of the month on Nocturn. I'll be showing the dice show bridge. Like if you already have a monocular or if you just want to do a dedicated dual nod setup, I'll be showing some of their offerings where you can upgrade into. And then I'll have a mana core. I think somebody in Discord has a mana core also. I'll have one of those later on if you look at some other options. But there's so many different ones of like the GPRN, ABGs. Totally with Jason. Ask in Discord because you really need to know what features you do and don't need. Like, do you need an IR illuminator? Do you need LEMO ports? Like all that stuff is just a question of how you set it up as to what you may or may not need. And
you need a flashlight, a thermal, and about 15 more guns. That's what you could buy with the money for nods.
Not like
that is true.
Those the Nocturne Chimera, the 4-way one, is only like it's still a stupid amount of money, but it's only like 15. So it's
you could get a Gatling gun and just 15. Spray and pray.
I bought a Gatling, and with no flashlight, you just light up the whole area with muzzle flash.
Yeah, you can fight a predator with that.
Yeah, it worked out well for Billy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did get sent what I've been fooling with right now, a set of. This is very heavy. I'm interested how this is going to be. This is a set of double digital night vision. I know Jason did the
Hoplite. I bought the Hoplite binos.
Whatever. Yeah, whatever the bino ones. This is from Good Night Gear. They sent this over. I'm just trying it. I don't love digital. He thought he was going to convince me otherwise. I don't know if that's the case, but he was okay with that. And I was like, I don't know if that's going to happen. He's like, but at least you can record some content of you recording other night content. I'm like, perfect. That'll be great. So we'll
nice.
We'll see.
Like these are not that they're not that obvious on your face.
Yeah. Can you? I don't know if you can even tell these are there. Nor are they. They're not that heavy either. They're pretty. This is a pretty heavy. There's no batteries even in them. This is a pretty heavy setup.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
You got counterweights on your helmet?
Yeah, you
know that Walsh is way too bougie for the rest of us. Like, oh, these night vision are all right, but they're way too heavy. Like, I've held a lot of night vision.
I'm gonna send them to Joe. All right, I didn't love him. I use him for some content, and every time you see Joe, he's always getting back this like, "Hey, what's up, guys?" Walsh just complaining about that night vision. It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. No, dude. If I had the money, honestly, after going out night shooting and stuff, if I had the money, I'd go thermal.
I think that's what we talk about a lot too. For walking around, like I would have thermal on my scope, right? I'd have a thermal clip on, and I'd have night vision to walk around with. Like night vision for movement, thermal for shooting and spotting. 100% agree with you. Doing it the other way was god awful. I haven't done the dual setup, but it seems like it would suck. Like having night vision one eye and thermal one eye.
Dude, you should so do that. I would love to try
Some people
that.
love it. Dude, some people I do this double setup.
Someone did the video on that.
Flip them out of the way.
Well, you can, or run them both. Some people say it like they'll just do one or the other and flip them out of the way, or run them both at the same time, and your brain like tries to merge the image. But I don't think it's going to. They would have to be perfectly at the same magnification, and the likelihood of that happening is somewhere between like 0 and impossible. So you're gonna have one image that's gonna be a little bit off. Oh, it sounds like how you throw up, like to me, like so.
Croak says High Point will forever be with us in pawn shops until the end of time.
Croak's like closet fanboy of High Point. I bet you he owns some, but he'll never admit it.
He's gotta have it.
I doubt he owns High Point.
He does. He just won't admit it.
Hey, I do want to say before we move on to next
thing.
It's
like the closet Swifties.
Oh yeah, Walsh is going to be doing our ad read tonight.
Oh, perfect. I'll do that too. But give me a second before we do that. I did, after talking to Elf, he did end up giving a discount code for our viewers. So TLDCO, the normal code, gives 15% off. It's 100% just all discount to the viewers. So if you guys are looking at the Elf stuff, you can take 15% off of the already pretty low prices. So that 140 whatever Apex, the SE is now that you get near $100 at this point. That's pretty stupid.
Yeah.
So
thanks, buddy.
Yeah. And I think CCW $20 he put another diamond trigger that's up for sale too. It's like
Trigger Tech.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, that's 200. I kind of want to see that, like do the diamond trigger tech against the Elf SE at $100, 110, 120. I mean, I don't know. I'd have to compare it. I just don't know.
Yeah. Dude, aiming with tracers is the way.
Who needs sights when you have tracers?
Who needs thermal?
Croak says,
Hoplite looks easy to adjust fire. Sorry.
The Gen 2 video they've released looks good, and they're going to be a lot more affordable for single or dual. Yeah, the dual was like, they're doing their pre-order 15% off, so it was like $2,100 for the duals. And their shipping is crazy from New Zealand. They're making it all in New Zealand using DHL. They're finding packages are arriving about 36 hours in America from New Zealand.
When are they actually shipping them?
They're shipping them now.
Oh, really? So you may see one soon.
Yeah.
I will say on this unit, what I'm hoping they do better on yours is the actual glass. That's something that is actually pretty expensive on the PVS 14s, the Nocturn stuff. Using the Carson glass or the RPOs, the glass itself is like $2,000, and that's something I'm running into here. Is the center, the perfect center dot you can see through, but everything else is a little bit blurry. It's like if you move at all, it's just not going to work. So
yeah,
I'm hoping they make that better. What are you messing with? Oh, he's got some goodies over there.
I forgot I had this.
Oh. Cody opens a box and he's like, I didn't know I had this.
Murph 420 says hybrids, don't be poor. Overlay is the way. Wearing different tubes, you get instant headache.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
And there's so many people say like, oh, I want to do this double setup. Like having done some of that, I'm like, I would not want that. But I haven't done, people usually do like there's an iRay version that they all use to do it with. So maybe, but that means one is going to be slightly laggy because the thermal is a little bit laggy. So yeah, I don't know. It's just way barf, I think.
Croak says no High Point, but there's a Taurus in the safe.
Oh crap! I don't believe him at all. I don't believe him.
I like Taurus. I'm not even hating on Taurus.
I have a Taurus.
What do you have this Taurus?
From Cody.
Well, yeah, exactly. We've had the same gun.
Yeah, but I have it now, so Cody doesn't have a Taurus.
Well, I don't have a Taurus, but I never had an issue with it.
Yep, 357 Magnum 38 special 7-shot revolver, stainless snub nose.
7-shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
dang.
All right,
now my wife's gun.
Yeah,
is it ad time?
All right. It is ad time.
Do you know which ad you're running?
Yeah, Javelin.
Yeah, okay. Hey, everybody. I need to turn this off. I'm trying to scream out. Today's sponsor is Javelin Concepts. Javelin makes the comfort guarantee for their Ajax 2.0. I had a long conversation with him and kind of put up a short about, does comfort really matter? And they kind of put this whole idea and mantra behind staying focused, and that's going to make you be a more effective warfighter, not being distracted, being more maneuverable, and making you be more effective just overall in what you're doing, even if you have a plate here that's of the same exact weight. The Ajax is going to be more effective because it's going to be more comfortable.
Back.
Or they're focused on being more comfortable.
We're back.
They offer you that comfort guarantee so you can try it out for yourself and see if it's worthwhile. They kind of put their money where their mouth is. So we want to say big thanks to Javelin Concepts for supporting the channel, supporting our live chat. And as always, you can use discount code TLDCO. See if they know what they're talking about, and with their comfort guarantee. And I turned off the sound.
Thanks.
You guys can't mess with me.
Thanks, Javelin.
Thanks, Javelin. All right, we have Q&A next.
Hey.
Is that working?
Why
is it playing again? Should not be playing again.
Double questions and answers.
Double questions and answers. You get two. I don't have questions prepped. I'm sorry. I have one question prepped.
Well, you're fired.
Yeah.
I know.
I have a question.
I want to revisit one from last week before we get too far into. Am I choppy? I feel like I'm choppy.
A little choppy, yes.
Weird. Okay, so we talked about. There was one thing we mentioned last year. We ran a short on it about how all these people, they're on their different sides, and they make their rational decisions based on their sides, and. There was someone else was talking about how like a lot of people's politics are now not necessarily like what they think, but what they believe. And it's a totally different mindset. It's like, and someone else said, you're never going to change someone's mind nowadays. Everyone's like, oh, I'm going to change someone's mind. I'm going to move them to the other side of the aisle. And in the current state, it just resonated with me. Like in the current state, that's never, ever, ever going to happen because they reached their mindset based on how they feel, right?
Mm-hmm.
By emotions. So you're never going to change someone's thought process with logic when they didn't get there through logic. They got there through emotions and belief and things like that. Like, oh, I feel like that's wrong, or I feel like we shouldn't have guns, or I feel like we shouldn't have abortions, or it's part of my religion. But those aren't coming from places of logic. So if you bring a logical argument to it, it doesn't change what it doesn't change how they feel. It's like, okay, cool, that's right. But I feel the same, so this is how I feel. And you just can't.
I can't hate on them. You're never going to change my mind either.
Right. And that's, I think that's the crazy part that when you really break it down, you realize like those people who, because we see all the time, like the posting all the time of like, oh, they're doing this. You're never going to change someone's mind. And all those things are just an echo chamber. You're like, the only people who are going to watch it are people who already agree with you, because the people who disagree, you're not going to sway them anyway. It's impossible.
And I'm wondering if Nurse Dude said, y'all see the news?
No, I didn't.
Do you see your flag up here?
I think the hope is that you share enough logic with this person that's coming at you from a position of emotions, and you might be able to convince them. And I think you're right. I don't think it's possible. I gave a speech one time in college where I talked about the gun death rate in America, and I started off my speech by it was like the number of kids that were killed by firearms over a 10-year period compared to all deaths in America, and it was like less than 0.0001%. Some infinitesimally small number. And I was like, how many of you think that's a lot of, that's a large percentage, that's a large number? Like no one raised their hand. Well, that's a number of kids that were killed by firearms over the last 10 years. Like we are basing our laws on an something practically never happening. And people say, you got to think of the children. That's why we're crafting these laws. Think of the children. But that's coming from emotion. It's not coming from logic.
Yeah.
And way more kids get killed texting and driving.
Yeah. And you take someone with a religious thing, like hey, like a certain stance. I don't want to like narrow anybody down, but like a certain stance on abortion. There's no amount of logic that's going to change their mind on that stance. Like, oh, okay, the numbers are different. Like,
reports Israeli airstrike hits sites in Iran, Syria, and Iraq. Oof.
Dang, dude.
They ain't playing around anymore, I guess.
Yeah. No more take it easy.
Yeah.
World War III.
Just saying. You send enough rockets into a country, you're going to get some back.
Yeah.
Hey, on a lighter note, Barlow is our ultimate hype guy. I don't know if you guys have noticed that.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
We played that ad, and he was like, "Thank you, Javelin." Like, he is our ultimate hype guy.
Yeah,
I feel like he's like in an Adam Sandler movie, and we're walking around, and we're like, "Hey, just want to say thank you for being you." Yeah. And then he runs up like he got a gold chain and a jogger suit, and he's like, "Yeah, thank you." And then
it's funny because the one question that I have prepped was because of Maurice Barlow.
So, well, now I got 22 LR saying Walsh is all choppy, and he was bragging about his internet speed last week.
Yeah, that is true.
That's because he's got porn running in the background.
No, it's feet pics. It's feet pics.
Just scrolling feet pics.
All right. So the question that I have: what are your thoughts on joining French Foreign Legion, IDF, Lone Soldier Program, or some other foreign military program?
Dude, did you read the comment?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying this question is coming from Maurice.
Yeah.
Oh, you just made it up now.
Yeah,
okay.
I said it because of Maurice.
Yeah, you literally just made it.
We have somebody. We have a contact you could probably talk to.
Maurice already like Joe. You are classics. He's already hyping.
See, dude. I love Maurice, man. I need him like on my morning runs, dude. Like that dude would hype me up so much. Like that was a mile.
He's like,
good job, you rock.
You rock. Like I do rock. I do.
Dude, I need like Maurice like in my app. So like every half a mile when she comes over my headphone and says, the time and everything, then just cuts to Maurice's voice like, you rock, you got this.
1911 Drew says you need that as Joe's loading mags. So everyone is saying don't do it. Croak says don't do it. Zach Fett, screw that noise. Nurse Dude, short answer, no. Longer answer, also no.
Okay.
Dude, that's hard. It depends. If you truly believe in what you're fighting for, then you need to fight, dude. That's how I feel.
Yeah. And listen, there's a couple things I'm going to fight for. I'm going to fight for money or what I believe in. So there better be some amazing principle that I'm fighting for in some other country for people who aren't mine.
Yeah.
Or I'm getting paid so much money that I don't care. One of those two things have to happen.
I think it depends too. One of the things I read about the French Foreign Legion, I think they'll take anybody. So if you have like a criminal history, you can't get into the U.S. military, but you really feel that urge to serve somewhere, French Foreign Legion seems like they'll take you, no questions asked. But I was thinking like there was a podcast of an American that went into the French Foreign Legion. I don't know anything about it, so a lot of this is based on pure assumptions. But to me, like traveling to another country where you don't speak that language and joining a military, I know it's not the French military, but joining a military service where you don't have a common language with that person, maybe you don't have a common goal, maybe you're there just for money. I just don't know how that works well. Man, Walsh is like super choppy.
I don't know what I'm breaking.
Nurse Dude, knowing how my own military treated me, I cannot imagine how another one will treat a non-citizen.
Yeah. And listen, we have plenty of people who came to join our military who weren't citizens and were going to serve to get their citizenship. I mean, I think we did our best, but it's a culture clash. It's everything else.
Yeah.
The only service I would join the Australian Air Force because they get to wear shorts.
And they have hot chicks.
And yeah,
you would.
Well, I think of Chip Lasky from Unity. He was an IDF guy, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think so. I think that was most of his stories he gave us. Yeah.
Yeah. So Crook says it is the French military. It's their cannon fodder. They do not let non-French be officers and they're harsh AF to legionnaires. Okay. CCW 22LR. I know an American guy that did his IDF time and then joined the U.S. military. It's a religious thing. Okay. Yeah, I would say if the U.S. if you want to serve and the U.S. military is not an option for you, man, I don't know. I don't know if I could do that.
Well, I see it in I see it in a different side, right? Like if they are participating in a fight that you strongly feel that you need to be in that fight, then go for it because it's better than going on your own, right? I'd rather join something like that and go somewhere and fight, right? Than just show up by yourself and it's you and maybe a couple buddy or whatever trying to change the world.
Come on, guys! The three of us got this.
Let's do this.
Let's go take the supply line.
Maurice said, "Yes, I do want to fight for the IDF, but I don't want to join the French Foreign Legion. Thank you for the advice. I would like to join our military, but I'm too old. Thank you. You guys rock." The dude, join the Legion and you're going to North Africa. Bailey Luke, I think the cartel has better benefits. Nurse dude, there are also plenty of other ways to serve your country too outside of the military. Yeah, I think of during like World War II days, guys that were they coined 4F. They had something up with them that they couldn't join the service, and so some people found a lot of joy in doing service by making munitions or something like that. So there are ways without joining the military. Maybe you look at being a contractor in the U.S. military or getting a civilian job in the U.S. military. You may not be there to see combat if that's what you're looking for. But honestly, when you think about it, probably less than, 20% of the U.S. military are combat guys.
Dude, did you see the one from the dude? Like Croak brought up a good comment. His IDF is like mission for some Jewish folks. So I didn't realize that, how it's kind of like, hey, that's that's kind of like the mission for them. That's kind of part of what their culture is. The dude says, he goes, also got to learn French if you join the Legion, so you can surrender bilingually. Oh man,
that was funny.
Nurse dude says, "Oh, it's way less than that for combat arms." Yeah, I don't know. I know I think in the Air Force, like pilots are less than 2% of the Air Force. So I was being generous at 20% across the entire U.S. military. But you can serve without having to be a military member.
Hey, so I got an interesting one I was reading about, and maybe a good question for all of us. It was talking about how it kind of showing the stats for this year. I think in some of this Colorado fighting, I think there's somebody who posted something showing like the number. FBI puts out their stats every once in a while, and it showed that there were more deaths and homicide from knives and then by your hands, by fists and hands, than there were by any rifles or anything. So why are we doing all this fighting, all this legislation against these things that are such, that don't really happen? So I guess my question to everybody, and this is one I struggle with myself, is how and we guess we just talked about this too. What is kind of your strategy to change someone's mind about firearms, or to bring them to our side if you have one?
Take them to the range. Teach them.
Yeah, I think I had a conversation one time with this family. Husband was pretty conservative, wife wasn't, and she said this was her thought process. There's no way that I could use a gun to defend myself. Now they didn't have any kids yet, and so I said, okay, let's assume you have kids. Could you use a gun to defend your kids? And that was a different story, right? And so, speaking of this mother, or eventually she became a mother, but that I think trying to figure out, well, what's your limit? Okay, you won't use a gun to defend yourself. You're worried. Like my wife says, she's worried about carrying a gun regularly because what if she gets into an altercation and someone takes that gun from her, and now they have a gun that they can use against her? Okay, well, that's your fear. How do we then combat that fear and train you so you're more comfortable keeping possession of your firearm if there was an altercation, right? So finding what's the root cause for them not wanting to carry or not wanting firearms, and then how do we educate or train to fix that?
So to answer your question, that way you carry 2 guns. So then when they take one of them, you have your backup, and now you have a legitimate defense that you're in fear for your life because they had a gun. And myself, I don't have the conversation with people like that because we have nothing else in common. Like I'm not even trying to be funny, dude. Like I don't like people that think that way. They think opposite of me in almost every way. They're also the people that want, electric vehicles, and they're also the people that think, you should have one kid and with whoever. It's our way of thinking and so vastly different.
Yeah.
That I'm like, no, I'm going to go to a steakhouse. You've probably never seen the inside of one of those. I'm going to go eat red meat and live my life the way I want to live it.
I can't eat red meat. I'm not allowed to have that. Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Yeah. Like everything that we do is different. You know what I mean? And it's not, I don't have anything against them. I'm not talking trash. Like you can live your life.
Sure.
You live your life. I'll live my life, and we'll press.
I love, there was a comment, your favorite libertarian says education and range time.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what's up with this camera. It's really mad. But
somebody anti something like that, like people that are anti loud exhaust, right? There's no way that I can take them for a ride in a car and they're gonna appreciate a loud exhaust.
Oh yeah.
Okay, you don't like loud exhaust. That's cool. I don't really. I mean, what do you do for a living? Oh, you crochet. Oh, we have nothing in common. I'll go continue to work on my car. You go knit whatever you want, and we'll press.
So, in part of this, I bring up because there's a video I'm doing for silencer. Talking about how you can get silencers to your house.
Oh yeah.
And I think there's a lot of like misconception from people like, oh, suppressors and silencers are scary things. And like, no, they're not, like, not at all. And I think a huge piece of that, I had to like go into a lot of detail. Like, here's why that thought process is kind of dumb. And kind of saying what you guys have said too, like, hey, I'm going to fight fear with education because now instead of being afraid, you just feel silly. You're like, oh, okay, that was kind of silly that I thought that because now I know better. Instead of like,
Bailey Luke says, I still think waterboarding is the answer.
Yeah, I'm laughing at that. But think about like Louder with Crowder, he did it a lot, and there's that other guy that does it on college campuses a lot. They set
Charlie Kirk.
They set up a booth and they say change my mind, right? And people walk up and they're so like emotional and they just don't have the same line of thinking, right? And he threw all the facts and logic. There's all kinds of education happening the entire time. Nobody ever, it doesn't change anybody's mind.
No, because you can't. And that's what I'm saying. That the whole idea that you could even say his whole experiment proves that the experiment itself is fruitless. Like, what's the point? Because they got to their mindset through emotion and the way they feel and not through logic. So it doesn't matter. Like, you can't change someone's mind nowadays.
I hate it. We're so drawn apart, right? They say that everybody's so polarized, and we are.
But you were an example. You actually gave a perfect example, and like not trying to pick on you or anything, but you're like saying like, hey, that person is so different than me that I don't really want to relate to them. They don't relate to me. I don't really want to open up to them. I don't want to understand them. We're like, it really starts with the opposite of that mindset of saying like, okay,
I know.
I get where they're at. I get what they do. I just don't agree. We just see things differently, but there's still.
And I know, and then there are people that hold on to that, right? Like, well, if I could just persuade 1 out of 100, right? I'm so tired of my rights and my thoughts being stepped on and shunned.
For some
I don't care about the 1 in 100 anymore, dude. I'm like, just go live your life. Just leave me be. Just leave me
alone. Yeah, and some people
just leave me alone.
They're like, oh, I hate Israel. I'm like, dude, you don't need to be hateful in the comments. Like, well, just if one person reads this, that's all that matters. Like, okay, cool, watch this. Delete. Like, nobody's gonna read it now. How's that feel?
And I'm proof of it, right? And I'm not saying that everybody should be like me. I have the worst mentality there is, and I understand that, right? I understand exactly what you're saying. It needs to be the opposite of my mentality. But I live in a state that's about to pass all that gun laws, right? Yeah. And they're absolutely terrible gun laws, and they're horrific and a violation of my Second Amendment and also a violation of the taking clause, and there's so much against it. And I could either stay here and fight, or I could just move, dude.
Yeah,
I could just
And that's
you know what?
Like,
F you, then I'm out.
Yeah. The problem is if you get to the point where, they call it voting with your feet, right? Okay, I don't like the laws here. I'm going to move somewhere and I'm going to take my politics and my voting power with me in a place that will appreciate me. But what if you get to a point where you can't vote with your feet anymore? Like if this becomes federal law and doesn't matter what state you go to.
Yeah. And that does scare me, dude. And also on top of that, or what if you move to a state and that state changes, right?
Yeah.
Like I can only do that one more time. Like I'm only going to move one more time in my life. And
period.
I don't even want to do that, dude. Like I was looking at the wall the other day. I'm like, man, I gotta take that down. Like I got patch holes and repaint it. Dang it.
Or you could leave it. Like, hey, leave it as a feature. It comes with a built-in gun room. That's just less work. Like just less work.
So I don't know, man. I'm just tired. I'm just tired of just all the hatefulness, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's meeting in the middle, I think, is the hard part, right? Because it's like, hey, somebody at some point has to extend an olive branch. And I think people just keep burning olive branches. So it's like, what's the point? Even me, who, I think I can be a little more middle set than most people. I'm like, I don't even want to talk about it with a lot of people. Like, I don't even want to bring it up. I don't want to waste the time. Like, you do you, I'm gonna do me. If you want to race to me when you need protection, fine, whatever. Like that.
But and I'll give you the difference, right? And I think this, for the most part, this covers it. The difference is when you say, I don't like that, right? I'm over here like, all right, cool. Well, you live your life the way that you want to, and let's just coexist,
it changes nothing
right?
about how we think about each other, right? Yeah.
But the other side says, I don't like this, so you can't do it, and that's the difference.
Issue. Yeah, and that's the issue.
But that's the difference.
But some of that comes from both sides, though, where it's like, hey, I don't like, let's just say what it is. One side doesn't like abortion and wants to take that away, and one side wants to take away firearms.
So that depends. That now I get where you're going with that, and I won't try to get too deep into it. But that depends on the definition of what abortion is, right? If that's removing a clump of cells, or if that's murder.
Sure,
so
we're getting
I don't right. So we can use murder, right?
So about guns,
right?
So
anyway,
guns. Gun
but like, if somebody wanted to say, well, I don't like the fact that you're allowed to own guns. Well, if you don't like guns, then don't own guns, right? You don't like a loud exhaust, don't own a loud exhaust. If you don't like something, then just don't do it. And not to bring up another YouTube channel, but Ben Shapiro, he kind of defines it in the best way that I've seen. Like, you're free to stand in the street and wave your hands in any direction that you want. Spin around in a circle with your hands out any way you want, as long as you don't make contact with me. And I'm not purposely walking up to you to get hit in the face with you spinning your hands, but don't bring it toward me. Like, don't make contact with me and we'll be fine.
Yeah, don't bring it over here.
Right. Where the other side is like, hey, you can't stop spinning. You're not allowed to spin. I don't like you spinning.
You could hit somebody with that spinning. Like, I'm spinning over here in my corner, man. There's nobody over here. Like, well, what if we come over there? Like, don't come over here.
But I think we kind of got to this last week too, of where's the line in the sand? Like and I think a vast majority of our viewers feel like we're kind of screwed already. Like, there's not going to be.
We already passed.
I think Croak said it last week. Like, the frogs in the water, right? The pot's boiling. Like, we're pretty much done. And so that's my concern is you've had in Washington State. There's a few big advocates for the Second Amendment that they'll go and they'll encourage people to write letters to the state representatives and to come and speak to the House before these bad gun laws pass. And you look at the numbers of people that actually show up to talk for or against these laws, and it's overwhelmingly like 6 to 10 times more pro Second Amendment people show up for these things, and it never goes our way.
No, it just happened in Colorado. That just happened.
So when is enough? But then it's kind of scary because now you're getting to the point of, well, are we advocating for the overthrow of our government?
Yeah. And you're like, well, no, that goes against. Yeah. It's like, wait a minute. Yeah.
So you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. The other thing that I would suggest people try to do, and I've talked to my neighbors about this, like, do you think that you have any real say on what happens in DC? No. Do you have any real say on what happens in your state capital? Probably not.
It's already paid
but
for.
Can you change and have effect on your local school board or your city council? Yeah, you have a lot more pull and a lot more. Your voting power goes a lot farther there. So, is it possible that we can get more involved locally speaking, fix our local politics, and hopefully that's kind of a step in the right direction to fix our state politics and fix our national politics? I don't know. I don't know if that's the right way.
But knowing your community too, I think is part of it. In 22LR, like if you say, "Hey, I'm going to fix the community," well, you have to know the community. Like, what are your neighbors? Like, what are your neighbors all about? What do they need? Like, hey, yeah, it's important to know. Like, hey, here's what I want. But is that actually what's best for the whole group? Like 22LR probably says it in the best way. Just saying, you have to be willing to have a conversation if you want them to be willing to have a conversation. And I'm gonna tell you, being a first sergeant, dealing with a lot of people, mental health is a problem for 99.9% of the world. It's just the case. So there is an impossible statement that people cannot make because they don't have enough self-esteem to make the statement of saying, "You're right, I'm wrong." That is an impossible. They don't have the extra self-esteem built within them to be able to make that leap. So it's not that they think that they don't agree with you. They can't actually make that mental jump because they don't have enough mental strength to do that, to go and say, "Hey, part of me is now wrong. How much of me is wrong? Oh my God." That whole cascading effect, 99.9% of the world cannot effectively do that.
Bailey Luke says, "I don't want to talk to anyone."
That's where you get to it. As a first sergeant, that's where I got to the end. Like, nobody coming. Leave me alone.
All right. So on that fun note, we have 2A news to get into. I didn't see Joe waving around his.
No, dude, there's no 2A news. Let's be honest. When Washington gun law making video that the title of "No, don't drag the body back in the house," you know that nothing important is going on.
The other one that I saw from Washington gun law was why Colorado, why you should stock up on stuff.
Yeah, now. I saw that one too. He's Washington gun law. I love him. Don't take that the wrong way. But he doesn't even have news. So we know nothing's happening.
I've seen a lot of scary Biden hands. I still see those coming out.
Oh, dude. Well, I will say that what we already talked about, that whole I guess we could talk about that. And I don't want to give legal advice, right? We're not lawyer. We're not giving legal advice. But I do want to talk about what are our options. So there's so much convoluted crap with that new.
Let me switch to our TLD group.
Oh yeah.
So with that new defining that if you're a person, I don't even know what to call it, man. I just crumbled up the notes from last week. Yeah, but not FFL. But if you're a person that should be in FFL, this new definition that got passed, it's so convoluted that nobody knows. Like I watched the armed attorneys, I watched that one. The armed attorneys, they've done 2 videos about it, and like they do really good videos, but still at the end of the video, I was scratching my head. Like I don't. So if you sell a gun, where do you fall in that? Like I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Well, I even had some conversation with some other YouTubers. Like,
so how do you protect yourself? Like, okay, say it's a hobby, right? It's a comparison. Like those are keywords in there. Like I bought or built a couple gun to compare with other stuff, and now I don't need them anymore. So can I sell those? What happened if I sell it and because I was getting awesome deals? Because this isn't to make a profit, right? Mm-hmm. But every year inflation go up. These politicians make all these laws. Dude, the 2 guns that I built out to compare, if they pass this assault weapon ban and I can sell it within that time frame, that those guns are worth 4 times as much I paid for them. That's a profit.
It's a profit.
Yeah.
Like, you created the profit. You and the government created the profit for me.
And I want to pierce some of the YouTube veil, because there's a lot of channels that, you know, they don't want to get paid for a review, so a lot of things are, you know, because they make it look like it's, you know, just transparent what it is. But a lot of times, what'll happen is it'll get paid in product. So if you have someone, no one's doing anything for free. I want to make sure that's really, really clear. Like, if you're watching something, no one is doing that for free. So if they're not getting paid directly cash or through their marketing company, they're probably getting paid in a product, right? And if they want to recoup any of those, the production costs, that means they need to sell those firearms or products, right? Which is often, you know, firearms channels are going to have firearms on them. They better be.
Well, if you got it for free, and you're selling it, that profit.
They better be an FFL. If that's.
But here's my question to you guys. I want to know how you guys feel about that. I think the spirit. So I'm a big spirit and letter of the law guy, right? And I think the spirit of this law, whether I agree with it or not, is to get around the loopholes of non-FFL selling in mass quantity, right? Like at gun shows and stuff like that. So, okay, whether you agree with it or not, let's get past that point. So the spirit of the law here in Colorado, if I want to sell a firearm, I have to go to an FFL and I have to do a background check. So Walsh and I want to sell a gun to Walsh. So we both walk into the FFL and I say, hey, I want to sell that gun to him. You give all your info. They run your background. They know if it's approved or not right away. So they're like, hey, you've been approved, but they're a 3-day wait list. So I hand them the gun. They have to keep it for 3 days, and I'm now out of it. You give me the money, and we leave. 3 days later, you come back and pick up the gun.
Yeah.
Tell me that's not the spirit of the law.
I would think so.
So long as I'm going through an FFL, but why didn't they write that in there? Like, unless you go through an FFL and have a background check.
Croak said it before, it's vague on purpose to create fear as much as it is to be used as a club.
Yeah.
But vagueness can get it ruled unconstitutional.
I think Joe comes in, some states don't require it. Like, some states don't require.
No, most don't.
Most don't require you to do background checks for certain stuff and things like that.
Right, but I'm just thinking about everybody out there, right? We all love guns. That's why we're on here. Ultimately, inevitably, you're probably going to sell one. If you're listening to that channel, you probably already have, or you're going to sell one eventually. So what do we do to protect ourselves to where we don't fall into that gray area? And that's the only thing I can think of, because how are they going to figure that out, right? And the armed attorney kind of went into this. Like, this isn't, unless you're selling directly to an FBI agent or an ATF agent, they're not going to figure it out right away. It's if somebody uses it in self-defense, right? So you sell it to a buddy who sells it to somebody else, or that buddy gets in a self-defense situation or commits a crime with it or whatever. And then they start backtracing it. Like, okay, well, where this gun came from this manufacturer, where did it go? And they start tracing it from there. Then they get to you, right? And they're like, hey, did you sell that gun? Because we're going to bring you up on charge on this. Well, I did, but I went through an FFL. Yeah. Like, they had a background check done. This is the FFL I went through. Yeah. Are you then in the clear? Or that's what are they still going to be like, well, you should have had an FFL yourself because you made $5.
An FFL. Yeah, no, I'm with you. I would sell to the FFL, and then I would sell my socks for whatever price that thing costs, because those are expensive socks.
Yeah, I'll give you the gun, but I'm gonna require $1,000 for this used bubble gum.
And Croak says it exactly. Like, they don't care if it gets thrown out eventually. Said it before. Look what frame and receiver or SBR rules did to the industry. It chills it for years, and the pot boils more. Exactly. Like, they don't care if it's not. It'll take 2 years for it to get taken off the books. Look at bump stocks. Like, bump stocks has had. It's finally, we've all realized that was a dumb rule to begin with, and it's.
That was when Trump was president.
Yeah.
I was about to say, I bash on Biden all the time. That one went Trump. Thank you.
Yeah.
Trump.
Right, yeah,
Appreciate it.
He's like, take the guns first. So, but even that one, the bump stock one is really bringing up a lot of things in court, which I think is why silencers are getting approved. If you really look into it, and I think we talked about this last week, but the argument that it's a firearm is gonna be crushed. So it's like, oh, you're not gonna be able to take tax stamps on these anymore real soon. So maybe that's why they're approving them all. Like, oh, hey, get as
I
many.
never even thought about that. I never even thought about that.
Yeah,
let's get as
like
much.
it better make 100 million now.
Yeah,
that's
bingo. What do you say, Cody? Sorry.
They're building a database. It has nothing to do.
Yeah, what I said last week.
Yeah, and that's true too. Like, oh, just get. But like, see what this is the part I don't understand. Like, I'm already I already have a suppressor, right? I already have a suppressor, and so let's say I bought 3 suppressors or 90, right? Why would I submit the application 90 times? That's the stupidest brain dead thing ever. And if it's like, hey, to build a database, cool. I already have one. I'm already in there. You got me. I mean, my paycheck come from the government. You know where I live. It's fine. But it's also like, why, if I've done another one now, are you starting from square one of like, oh, okay, let me start from the beginning and see if we know who this guy is. Like, bro, you already approved me. This is the stupidest thing on the planet. So my only thought process is because in that case, like, they already have my stuff. If there's a fast lane and a slow lane, the fast lane tells me those are the people who already have one and we already have their information. We may as well just get their money just in case we lose this. That's the fast lane and the slow lane, because people who they already have, it's not like, hey, who's easy to process? Like, no, we already have their info. We already verified them. So why not just
here's what I've decided to do. So number one, I have to find my forever location, because I'm not going to try to move with an NFA item. That's, especially out of state, absolute pain, right? So I'm going to find my forever,
It's not as so. Just FYI. So I moved when I started my process for my suppressor. I didn't move out of state, but I did move across the state, and I talked to my FFL about that, and they were like, "Nope, it's not a problem." I don't know if it changes if you're moving out of state.
To state, you have to submit. I don't know all of the stuff. I just know the generality, but you have to submit form, and they have to approve them.
Okay.
Otherwise,
you have to get permission to move to that state, right? And I don't want to go through that. So number one, get my forever home. Number two, my forever home needs to have a shop with a separate address than my house. And once I do that, then I'll apply for NFA items.
Oh, so yeah, if you just have a suppressor, like 2200 LR has it right. If you just have the suppressor already approved and you move, it's not a big deal. If you're in the middle of the process though, and then you move,
no, it ain't a big deal. No, not, dude. When you move state to state with an NFA item, there are absolute requirements for that NFA item.
No, SBR, I think.
I don't.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe I'm misunderstanding, but I think he was saying if you started the process, you don't have the suppressor yet, and you move to another state.
That's a huge issue.
It's not that big a deal.
No, that's a huge deal. You have to start all over. Like that's
okay.
Yeah, I don't know. You're right, Joe. I don't know, but I thought moving going anywhere across state lines with a suppressor is fine. That one you don't like. If you travel across state lines with the suppressor, you don't have to tell anybody. SBR, you do. Like, hey, I'm going to travel out of state with this. You have to like let them know. Like, I'm going to step out for a minute and come back.
That proves it right there. I try to be in the know, and obviously I have no effing clue. Like, I could be a felon without even knowing it.
Well, and it's just like what Croak said. It chills the whole process, right? That's the whole point, right? Already it's chilling you on like, well, I don't want to get it because that sounds like a pain in the rear, because they imposed a bunch of weirdly weird kookamimi rules about it.
No.
So dumb.
That's the whole point.
Good.
It's so dumb.
This is actually a good 2A. This is a good 2A day.
Yeah, this is
great conversation.
Nurse Dude says suppressors you have to inform of travel. SBRs you have to get approval of travel.
Okay. Oh, noted. So good to know. Yeah.
So I mean, that's why Texas is on my list, because they're fighting the federal government regarding suppressors, right? So.
Yeah. But you got to be careful too.
Not have suppressors and not have to get anybody's permission.
True.
That works too.
True. As long as they're just fuel sediment catch cans.
Yeah. A right delayed is a right denied.
I agree 100%.
So I was going through the Capital Armory process. So I'm going to be doing a video on that. But I was kind of surprised. I was bitching a little bit about on Discord. The end process, the 4473, like once you're approved, like the approval process only took me like 3 or 4 days. But the actual getting it shipped to you, because it's non-over the counter, you have to go through your chief law enforcement officer in your county. You have to have 7 days and all this stuff. It'll take weeks. Like that, just the shipping will take weeks. So
really,
so even if the ATF turning around and I think the process is going to be at least a month. I think it's a good experiment. But like even being approved in 3 or 4 days won't make any difference. The process is still
interesting,
super clunky. So I didn't realize.
I wonder how they can do that.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just ridiculous, dude. I'll give you an example. So I don't want suppressor for crazy stuff, right? I want to put a suppressor on my home defense gun just so I don't lose my hearing if I ever have to use it.
And it's nicer to shoot with the suppressor on. Like it's just
that's number one.
Nicer. Yeah.
Number two, like I don't want to deal with all the BS with the suppressor. But number two, varmint hunting. So we go to a property, right? A guy that I work with. And Sean from We Like Shooting and I, we go out there and we're suppressed the entire time. So, we're taking shots at 100, 200 yards normally, between 1 and 200. And we're varmint hunting. Like he has a whole bunch of groundhogs, or not groundhogs, prairie dogs, on a property, 40 acre, like just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them. So we'll go out and we're trying to eradicate some of them so he can get cattle. We go out like one day before noon, we had 100 confirmed. He go out and he shoots once or twice and has to move to the other side of our property because they all go into the holes for 30 minutes and stay there. Like that's the difference. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to do anything nefarious. Like what am I trying to do? I don't know. I don't get it, dude. I don't get why they're dangerous.
We agree with you. It doesn't make any sense. I think an education video on suppressors is going to make a lot of people mad, but it's also like, no, it doesn't make any sense. Like the whole argument is dumb.
That's all right, because now that all this is passed, I can't own any gun that I can actually put a suppressor on. Well, technically they're grandfathered in, but I can't pass them down.
Yeah.
And so I can't sell them, and I can't give them away. So
what happens when you
die?
I'm trying to say it in the nicest possible way.
Yeah, that's the illegal taking clause. Yeah, nobody knows, but yes. So then my family have to call the state, and they just come and confiscate them.
Yeah,
and that includes a pistol with a threaded barrel. If it has a detachable magazine and a threaded barrel, it is an assault weapon. So the 9mm that I'm messing with the whole show right there, it's an assault weapon.
It doesn't make any sense. And just
even though it shoots a 9mm round.
Yeah. I don't know. Just
the whole there.
And what makes no sense is in that one state. Like, hey, here's the rules in this one state. Okay, but you could just drive them out that state and they'll never be in that state again. And now none of that.
But look at what they did with Washington. You can't just drive them out of the state.
Like this, CCW 22LR says, I think suppressors being NFA is comparable to marijuana being a Schedule 1 drug. It's real bad because the government said it's real bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it actually real bad? And we get into the logic thing. Like, well, I feel like it's bad. Well, is it actually bad? No. But I feel like it.
Bailey, look, it will blow your lung right out of your body.
That's what I hear.
Yeah. Okay. 9mm.
Yeah. So, Joe, Shadowman brings up a good question. That's what trusts are for. I'm curious how that would work with your firearms in Colorado. Like, if all of your stuff was technically in a trust with like all of us, right? It's like, okay, hey,
the trust owns it.
The trust owns, yeah. Hey, you have to confiscate this. Like, no, Joe didn't own these. The trust does. You can't take them from us.
Right. I don't know. Because I kind of agree with it, right? But I'm not sure. But if I have to start putting stuff in the trust because I'm afraid of my government taking it, do I really want to live in that location that I'm living in?
Yeah.
Right. You could just live in Nebraska and not worry about any of it.
No, then I have to go get permission just to buy a gun.
Where?
What? You don't have to have a card? You don't have a card that says that you're allowed?
Deal, son.
So you had to go. So just one-time permission slip, but you have to get a permission slip.
It's every time.
Walsh, even though the Second Amendment says shall not be infringed.
And Walsh, when you go to buy a firearm, how long do you have to wait till you can take it out of the store?
That's 0 days. But you do have to have a permit.
That's how we were.
You do have to have a purchase permit. Between
that's it.
The concealed
that's
carry.
How we were.
Counts as purchase permit.
And that's the universal background check.
Maurice,
I forgot.
That's what it is.
Joe, Colorado sucks. You should leave and head to Texas or Utah. Still a free state.
Ooh, hey, Utah, rough one, Barlow, but
Utah's on my list.
If I have a concealed carry, I should just be.
It would be
for silencing. Like if you have a concealed carry, you did all the training, you did all that stuff, and then you go to apply for a Form 4. Like it should be a no-brainer. Like, oh, this guy's already approved for everything else. Like, let me check one thing.
Yeah, like a concealed carry permit should be a here you go.
Yeah, not like
hold up. And it is a purchasing permit in Nebraska.
Yeah, but like in the government, like when it comes to the federal government, it's like, well, wait a minute, we have no idea who you are. Like, how do you not know who I am?
Like, I'll give you an example of just a 3-day wait, right? Since that's going across a bunch of states right now, multiple day wait. So I don't know, count. I'm not going to tell you how many guns I have, but count.
17.
So 17. I go and buy a gun, and they're like, oh, we're going to do a chilling effect on him just in case he's mad at somebody, so you can't have that gun for 3 days. Because if you're angry, you go take it and shoot somebody.
Yeah.
Why would I go and purchase another gun to shoot somebody if I have them at home? So that right there, I think that you shouldn't be able to get a CCW unless you have a firearm, right? Because that's a concealed carry permit. So you have a gun, now you get a CCW, right? After you have a CCW, then any of the, like, you got to wait this many days to take the gun home, or you just show your CCW and you get it right now. Like, thank you. What are they protecting?
Yeah, sorry. Another YouTuber says, don't Form 4, get a trust from a gun rights attorney.
He also said SOT only costs $500. That's $500 yearly, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always thought about it.
Is that the trust?
No, SOT is when you get silencers and stuff sent directly to you.
Nurse Dude says, dude, don't get me started with me on how many agencies have my print card. I know you all talk, so just share the info already.
Makes no sense. Yeah. It makes no sense. Why, if I already sent all my stuff in for 2 suppressors, do I need to send in my fingerprint card again? It doesn't make
sense. Yeah, that's the same thing. That's the same thing.
It's like, oh, you need your fingerprint card. It's like, bro, I sent them to you already. Like, you approved it. Like, oh no, I have to start all over. Like, you don't exist. Like, we're gonna assume we've never talked to you before. Like, why? What? Yeah, why would you do that?
You live in a free country, but you have to pay the government in order to own this, and you have to pay us every time you want to buy a new one.
I don't even mind that. Like, that's annoying enough as it is. But
I do mind it.
Why are you pretending like you don't know me? You could look at one form. You could literally look at one form and go, I don't know who this guy is. And then make, okay, approved. And the next form is the exact same person. And be like, I have no idea who this person is.
Yeah.
Another YouTuber says, tell me a firearms fan don't spend more than $500 a year.
Yeah, but there's rules with SOTs. They get yucky, though. I mean, you're okay.
I want to spend $500 on stuff that hanging on the wall behind me. Also,
your biggest rule
on your permission.
ATF could come and look at your inventory at any time, too.
CCW 22LR. Last can I bought, I did my own prints using an ink pad from Walgreens.
And that's why I like the Griffin Suppressor to Your Door program, where they send you the print cards, they send you the ink pads, they send you 2 of the print cards. It goes to Capital Armory, and then when Capital Armory gets your prints, either the electronic or the printed one, you never do it again. They keep it on file because they're like, fine.
I can't wait. I can't wait until it get brought up in court. Can you please tell me the historical precedents? I know I pronounced that wrong.
It's fine. We love it. It's fine.
That shows that you have to give your fingerprints in order to own something that is considered a firearm.
Ooh, Michael Farley with the Wizard Gondolphin this late in the game.
Look at that. I tip my hat to you.
Somebody's thirsty.
All right, you go to Arizona where they don't have they don't do daylight savings time.
Yeah, that's even better.
Yeah.
I don't think this taxation and suppressor rule on the NFA will survive the Bruin.
I don't think it survived going to court, and that's why they purposely not let it. It won't stand
because
up.
They're waiting for the Supreme Court to be on their side before they let them go to court.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree.
Absolutely.
Well,
all right.
We got to round this up.
Yeah, my internet's running out. I'm running out of
internet.
Okay. Juice on the cooker somehow. I don't know. The internet's running out.
So we didn't talk about Elliott Delp podcast with Elliott Delp this week. I do have a Bailey Luke. Good thing Bailey's here. So Bailey told us we need to reach out to Joe Farewell. Joe was super awesome. So next week we're going to have a podcast episode with Joe Farewell. He's a firearms instructor out of Florida. Super nice guy, super busy. So I gave him my phone number. He called me and he was like, "Hey dude, I'm swamped for the next 3 weeks, but I'm free like right now." So I stopped dinner with my family and went and recorded my interview with him. Great guy. Hope you guys enjoy that podcast. That's going to be coming out next Tuesday.
You better have asked 2 questions. Does he go iguana hunting or does he go python hunting?
Neither. He does neither.
But you asked?
I'm not messing with a python.
I asked both those questions.
Cool. Good job.
Hey, what was your thoughts on Elliott? I love him to death. What were your thoughts on talking to Elliott a bunch?
Apparently, he's really good at hell divers, and you suck.
He's not that good. I want to go on record saying I saved his team's butt multiple times.
It's funny because I look at Elliott and I think I'm not that much older than him. You know, I'm probably 10 years older than him, and it's just like he's oh, look at this kid. This kid's doing great things for God and country. But I love that he's just a regular guy, like no military background, not law enforcement. He's an engineer. That's what he does for a living. He's an engineer.
Did you see Jawa's comment? Walsh is not that good. Yeah, I've saved you too, but yeah, Jawa's really good. Pretty much me and Jawa. Okay, we can clean it up.
I just follow them around and throw random stuff.
Yeah, it's a good time. Speaking of, we're trying to do something dumb. Jason, are you around Saturday night?
Yes.
We want to play that horrible other game, the one on Steam where like the 4 people have to survive. Bad Company, I think it was called. Oh, okay. All right, we're doing the Steam. We're going to stream. I was trying to see if Croak wanted to play with us, and I know Jawa will be in. So we'll see if we get the 4th. There's a bunch of Prepper and everybody else plays too. So if Croak doesn't want to do that dumb, we can get somebody in.
I still haven't watched Fallout.
LR.
I got to watch. 22LR says I got hell divers. I need to join you guys. FYI, I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Welcome to the team.
Yeah, Lethal Company. We're gonna play Lethal Company. We're gonna stream Lethal Company on Saturday. We're not gonna know it. Like Jawa asked me if I want to play. Like I want to wait till Jason comes. Let's just stream it. Nobody knows what they're doing. Let's play. Like it'll be fun.
Hey, Mr. King Arthur HK. Haven't seen you before. Welcome. Says in Texas, a CHL means you can get a firearms faster. Welcome to the end of our program.
Yeah. Oh, are you for videos this week? Are you cooking one up still?
Yeah. Oh, I'm trying to.
Okay.
We'll see how tomorrow goes.
Okay. Yeah, I have the Wilder loadout video tomorrow. I guess depending how that goes, maybe on Sunday. Hopefully tomorrow.
I should have a video on Sunday.
Okay.
We need to put it out in the Ethernet that anybody that does the iguana, python, or boar hunting in the South, if you invite us, we'll probably show up.
And when he says we, he means him and the flea in his pocket.
Yeah, I will.
Some random guy shows up.
And one of the dudes will show up. One of them will show up. They better.
One of these 4
messing with pythons, dog.
Dude, you just hold the flashlight, Cody. I'll handle the rest.
All 3 of those things you listed, that's the one thing that can eat me. I'm not messing with that.
If I can shoot really well and really fast, but if I'm shooting at a python and I miss and it starts slithering towards me, I'm gonna scream. I will scream and run.
Oh no, dude, I got you, bro. I got you, bro. I got you.
No,
I got you.
Croak says
I don't care.
Hunt. That's the thing in my part of Florida. Pythons haven't made it up this far yet. Yeah, he
go
said earlier pythons are like the bottom 10% of Florida.
Yeah. Because it was like a breeding facility. But Croak, I didn't even know you were in Florida.
Yeah, he talked about it all the time. Yeah, he talked about how he's like every day is like 72
Haven't
degrees.
You seen his feet? Those are Florida feet.
Dude, what about iguanas? Did he go iguana hunting?
No, he said they're down south too.
Real quick, Michael Farley's leaving. Just want to say good night to him.
All right, good night,
Good
Mike.
night.
Good night.
That is what a high brass BB is for, Walsh.
For what?
Shooting
for the
pythons?
snake.
Pythons? No.
I agree with iguanas. Can you shoot a python?
I don't do snakes.
Or do you just have to
in the
grab
head. Well, I mean, on TV they grab them because it's very it's very dramatic.
All right,
they're in like 1 foot of water, and you can't see them.
Okay.
All right, spare everybody from the rest of this. Thanks, everybody.
Guys, we appreciate you being here. We will be here next Thursday. Again, huge shout out to Javelin Concepts for sponsoring our live chat tonight. Thank you, Javelin. Discount code TLDCO, and we will catch you guys next Thursday.
Enjoy the deck.